So I think there is an unconscious bias sometimes against historically disadvantaged universities, often based on premises or perceptions that we may not be the cutting edge of our research field because we don't have as long a history in the research we've been doing, or maybe the publication records are not quite as strong. And so I think that is a challenge we definitely face, and it's an unfair challenge actually, because historically disadvantaged universities have excellent researchers. And particularly, I must say, in the field I work in democracy and urban governance, but particularly looking and working with low-income communities to try and understand how do informal settlements, for example, access services, and how do you improve basic service delivery. And these are areas in which many of our students have grown up in. And so they are coming with real-world experience. And so our research really is very generative, it's very participatory, and in fact, in many ways, because we are working with students and researchers who deeply understand the context in which we're working, we're able to be more responsive and very truthful to what happens on the ground. And so certainly, I would say one of the ways that our chair, or this chair, is going to deal with these often biased perceptions is to make sure that we not only work with the right researchers and those who have really valid experience in the area, but that also we work with and connect to international partners. So all of the research I do in my chair is always with international partners, often from the global south and the global north, where we have tried to equalize the relationship. So for example, I've got a project working in Colombia, in Cali, in gang areas, and in Buenaventura in Colombia. And we also work in that project with researchers from the global north, from the University of Cambridge, for example. And the University of Cambridge comes and learns from us. What is it that we are understanding in our research, coming from and understanding areas that have been disadvantaged in the past. So I think that we have opportunity really to showcase cutting-edge, grounded research.
So as a new research chair from the Northwest University, I see this initiative as a very good initiative that will help us to address certain challenges that we have in implementing our strategic plans, especially when it has to do with resources for our researchers as well as students. We also see this as an opportunity for us to include more stakeholders, especially stakeholders from historically disadvantaged backgrounds in our research plans and strategies. Thank you.
As you know, water is life, and the importance of life cuts across every facet of human existence. And without water, there is virtually nothing that humanity can do. And of course, therefore, the quality of water therefore speaks directly to public health. So this chair, for example, is a very important one for that matter, in the sense that it helps not only to contribute to the body of knowledge with respect to water quality, but also help in advisory capacity to advise government and so on regarding the issues of water quality. As you know, water is a scarce resource in South Africa, and indeed some other parts, quite a number of other areas in the world. So there is need, therefore, even though it is scarce, there is need to ensure that indeed the quality of the water that becomes available for the use of mankind is of acceptable level, so as not to become a source of challenges such as diseases and so on that will contravene or negatively impact on public health. So that is one of the very important focal areas of our SARChI. And we also look at the environmental genomic aspects, the genomic aspects that can be exploited to not only in the area of diversity, but also in the exploration of this diversity for the betterment of humanity through exploitation of organisms in the environment for the biomolecules of importance. And with respect to our SARChI, we are particularly interested in those that speak directly to the importance in respect to biotechnology and economic relevance. So yes, to answer your questions, the importance of this SARChI speaks directly also to the DST idea of bringing science to the people, and we are also using this therefore And this opportunity, therefore, to help to develop this, the much needed capacity, especially amongst the previously historically disadvantaged demographic groups in the country. So, and in that sense, helping therefore to, produce the much needed critical mass in this area of science and technology and innovation.
I'm a SARChI Chair in the Thicket Ecosystem Services for Climate and Community. The chair is based on 3 pillars: on researching how best to restore this ecosystem, how to avoid further degradation, and the fundamental science that supports both of those. And this chair will assist the local municipalities and economic development because and will assist with local economic development because restoration needs to happen at a wide scale. In the Eastern Cape, there's more than 1 million hectares of degraded thicket, and you can think of this as a dwarf subtropical forest that needs to be restored. And what this will do is trap a lot of carbon. There's a lot of global investment in carbon sequestration, and that is going to bring in money into municipalities such as Janssenville, such as Stateleville, and create a whole new economy, the restoration economy, which is going to supply jobs for local people in rural areas that is involved with this restoration.
At University of Zululand, the main goal is to increase our research and innovation. So as a person who is the director in the Research and Innovation Office, we are actually grateful to NRF and the STI in terms of awarding the university with 3 such chairs. And we see this as responding to the main goal of increasing our research as well as our innovation at our university, which also include in promoting the throughputs of postgraduate students, as well as in ensuring that the skills that the postgraduate students that we produced are skilled in different areas. For example, we have such chairs in nanotechnologies, we have such chairs in free trade borders, and those such chairs, they will contribute to skill our postgraduate student, and also they will assist in output, publication output, such as journal articles, as well as in ensuring that we are actually producing relevant information that is aligned with the national policies and what is happening at a grassroots level.
The strategy for the University of Limpopo to ensure that the knowledge of the currently awarded SARChI chairs is passed down to the next generation is simple. We work with the research chairs and ensure that from the start, from the onset, we have a structure that ensures that the experience and the day-to-day activities are along with mentorship of emerging researchers. So each chair has a pool mainly of young, emerging, qualified and female in the main researchers that are working with them as senior researchers in their chairs, and that when the time comes for re-evaluation, we want to ensure that those emerging researchers are established and experienced enough to perhaps take over or perhaps maybe start new directions within each of the SARChI chairs.
So the chair is in forensic linguistics and multilingualism, and we live in a South Africa that is multilingual and multicultural. And in the justice system today, we have English only as the language of record, which is actually unconstitutional. So a lot of our research is about how we can get access to justice in terms of SDG 16, and all of our students are working in the area of multilingualism and how language can empower people in the justice system to have more equity and to deliver judgments that are based on what the plaintiffs and the witnesses are actually saying in their home languages rather than what's interpreted into English. So all of our research is based on language issues in courtrooms in South Africa, and almost every single court case in South Africa, whether it be Omotosho, whether it be Van Breda, or whether it be any case, the Milani case recently, are all dealing with language issues, and interpreting doesn't necessarily facilitate a good transfer of language unless you have a really excellent interpreter. So part of our research is also facilitating that process. So all in all, it's about access to justice and using our students as researchers to be able to fill that gap in the legal system as it stands today. As at the moment, it stands as a very colonial, untransformed linguistic system that operates in our courts of law.